Hi, welcome back. And on today's episode, we've got Amy Burke, who is a breast cancer survivor, educator, role model, advocator, and innovation with a product that she's designed. And we can't wait to obviously deep dive into your journey on everything that you've been through, Amy. Congratulations is firstly.
Thank you so much, girls. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Thanks for coming. I can't wait for this chat.
I know, we have been. We've been looking forward to this one, haven't we? Because it's something that really impacts a lot of people out there. And obviously with us working in the NHS, we see it a lot and it's detriment to a lot of families. And I think when you hear that word, you instantly think the worst. So
you do,
tell us a little bit about your journey and what happened.
So my journey, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I'll start there. So it was 2023 now, so we're in 2026, aren't we? Which that sounds crazy because it just seems like it was only yesterday. It flew. So it was May 2023 when I got my diagnosis. So when that happened, as you've just said, like hearing that word, it really does turn your world upside down. Yeah. That's what happened with me. I just couldn't believe at the age of 33, I had breast cancer, and I was thinking, that is such a true saying. You never think it'll happen to you.
Yeah.
And I've never been affected by cancer or anything like that. No one in my family has, and I haven't had anyone close to me. So I didn't understand what it entailed. And the first thing I thought was like, oh no, I'm going to die. And that was genuinely my initial thought. I was thinking, but I was so naive because the treatment now is amazing and that's not the case at all. And I was really lucky to catch it as well, the stage I caught it at.
Because I think that's what it is. I think the minute you hear that word, I think you automatically think it's like it's death, isn't it? Yeah.
That's what you think, But
you don't realise.
No, I found I don't know where I got the strength from, but I'm grateful for the experience because of how strong it's made me.
So tell us, so obviously you were a busy working mum because you did a lot in the beauty industry. You were an educator running amazing businesses.
Yeah.
How did it come to light that you thought, oh my God, I need to go and get checked?
I was actually at work, funny enough. I was in the salon that day and I was renovating a new salon. So the salon that I'd had for like 8 years, I'd outgrown. It was just, I was starting to go into more teaching. So I knew that I needed a bigger space. So I'd looked at a property over the road from the existing salon that I had. And I was thinking, years before, I'd seen the bottom floor was available. And you know, when you see something, you really want it. And I was like, oh, I'd love that. It'd be gorgeous. It's just the right size. And then one of the other girls who's done hair, she got it, Josie, she's lovely. So they'd done it all fabulous. And I was made up for them. I thought, oh no, it's gorgeous. It's obviously not my time to be moving as of yet. And then I think it was about a year later, the top floor of that building came available. And I was like, right, I'm going to go and get it. So I did, but you should have seen it. When I went to view it, it was like black ceilings, green walls, and my salon was the pinkest. Like everything was pink. There was clouds on the ceiling. There was everything. I was like, what are we going to do here? But I do love a project. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to be able to transform this. So I went for it, got the salon. And as I was at work one day, I had all that renovation going on in the new building. And then I was at work one day doing one of my customers. And I'd found a lump about, I think it was about 2 weeks before I'd even gone to view that building, things like that. But I'd put it off.
Yeah.
And I kept on being like, oh, I'm really busy in work. I've got the kids, I've got this. But which you should never, ever do. And that's something that I'm so big on now. And I can't stress enough how important it is. Whether you just don't feel right, go and get checked.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to have a lump or something like that. Just go and get checked. Because I'm so lucky that I did when I did. So the only reason I did is because my client on the bed this one day, she was lovely. She's actually a nurse.
Yeah.
So I was speaking to Neve, one of the girls who we used to work with. And I said, I've had a lump. I said, and it's not changing because when I was younger, I had Daisy when I was 20, my daughter. So it was normal for me to have lumpy boobs.
Yeah.
So I didn't think nothing of it, but this lump was different. It didn't change. It was hard. And I was like, oh, this is not going anywhere. So the client on the bed who's a nurse, she made me phone the doctors in the middle of a lash appointment. She was like, Amy, put your tweezers down. I'll phone the doctors right now. I rang the doctors and they actually see me the next day.
Because they are quite incredible, the NHS now
They're
for this.
They're really good. I can't fault them. I really can't. I was over the moon. I got in the next day and the doctor I seen, he just referred me to Aintree immediately.
Yeah.
And then that's when the journey started, really.
Was it the Dagley Shanty you went to?
Dalglish,
yeah, they're amazing in there, aren't they?
I call them angels on earth because that's definitely what they are.
So then obviously the next process was going to obviously the
So
centre.
I went to the Marines Aguish Breast Clinic first, obviously to see the surgeon and to have a biopsy done, which I'd been there before, as I say, when I was younger. As always go if I found lumps. I wasn't scared of going.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of these people, I have to face things. I couldn't, burying in my head is not the way forward for me. I'd make myself sick with anxiety. So I was like, right. So I went in. I saw a gorgeous doctor who ended up being my surgeon, Mr. Strachey. And given my history of having lumps that were benign, there was nothing to worry about. I had it's called fibrometer. Not fibrometer. Is it? I always get this word wrong.
I've never worked with
it. But it's the lumps in your boobs anyway. So I was like, it's just going to be that again. It's fine. So when I went through to be scanned, the sonographer, name's Lucy, I remembered her from past scans, and I was like, this is a bit different, this scan. It went on a bit longer. And then at the end of the scan, she asked me to lift my arm up.
Yeah.
And that had never happened before. And that was confirmation for me. Before anyone even told me, I knew. I thought, this is in my lymph nodes and I've got cancer.
How do you feel when someone's doing that and you're lay on the bed?
Do you know what? It was like I was sinking into the bed.
Yeah.
It was like I was being sucked into the floor. I was like, as if I've never felt fear like that. That was the most scared I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
But after that, considering what I've been through, you'd think I'd be more scared of other things, but that was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me, ever.
Because the thing is, it is, isn't it? Especially when you've got kiddies, you
that's
must be
the
thinking.
first
thing you
thought.
think about.
Yeah, first thought was the kids. And obviously, I'm a single mum. Obviously the kids got the dad, but we're not together. So I was thinking, how am I going to cope? I was just like, how am I going to cope at home when I am on my own with kids? I'm going to get them to school. I'm going to look after them. Your mind runs away, but you think of all different things. And I was just like, this is just crazy. This is not happening. And then I had to, and the poor surgeon, Miss Strachey, before me scan, she'd said to me, she didn't think it was anything to worry about. And then I knew that me having to go back into that room and they couldn't tell me because they'd done a biopsy.
Yeah.
But I'm one of these people who's very adamant and I wouldn't leave until she told me. I said to her, and I said, I know you know what this is and I need you to tell me because I can't go home for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I will be sick and be beside myself and I've got to look after my kids. And she was lovely and she said to me, when we see something like this, Amy, it's 90% certain that it's cancerous. So then I was like, right, okay. And I was just spiralling.
Was you on your own at that point?
Yeah, I went on my own, Nick. Do you know why I went on my own? It was because I'd been before alone. And because I'd never had anything to worry about previously, I just thought it'd be the same.
Yeah.
And the kids were actually at home. My cousin had the kids. She's like my sister. And I'd rang her and I was like, I've got breast cancer. And she was like, what? She was like, you just went for a checkup, what do you mean? I was like, no, I've got breast cancer. And she was like, how do you know? And everyone was the same. They were like, you don't know until they can tell you. I went, no, they basically told me I've got breast cancer. And I was like, oh, wow, as if this is really happening to me.
Especially at 33, because
Very
you just
young.
naturally put it in a different bracket, don't you? You think, like, it can't happen that young.
I
but
always
it is
just
getting
imagined
younger and
older
younger.
women, who God love them because that's what happened to, isn't it? Women in the 50s or, older, or women who are getting mammograms regularly. That's when it's caught, isn't it? But I was just floored.
I do think that I don't really, since we've spoke before, I have sort of religiously checked myself
amazing.
now. But before that,
You wouldn't have.
No.
Yeah, no, seen it.
because, and I do think I've got breast implants and I know quite a few people do have
But I think
breast
that's where it's
implants in.
confusing when you are
People worry more, I think, when they've got implants
Yeah.
too, don't they?
Like,
Because
what's
it's like,
that?
can you
Or-
still feel things
Yeah.
and you're not sure what it is? But to be honest, when I went, I didn't even know how to check your breast. I didn't have a clue. And even when I went to see the doctors, they're not massive on like, you need to check your breast, It's one of those things. There's different signs that you can look for, but I literally didn't have any signs at all other than that physical lump.
Yeah.
If I didn't feel that, and I found it when I was in the bath just getting washed, and if I didn't have that physical lump, I wouldn't have known. And the oncologist told me it could have been there for up to 5 years prior.
I was going to say, did they say how
Before.
long it had been there?
It was actually 10 centimetres long.
Wow.
In the end, I had 2 cancers in one breast, which was so scary because, and there's an amazing doctor, Cassiani, she's called, she's beautiful, a Greek doctor, she's fabulous. And it was her, she'd done me a scan one day and she wasn't happy. She seen something else in the same breast that there's already found one cancer in. And I was meant to start chemo that day. Or no, I think it was a few days later. And I had to have an MRI biopsy. Have you ever seen what one of those entails?
No.
Well, an MRI, people don't like them anyway, do they?
Yeah.
I wasn't too scared because I was always face down. so I could cope. I think if I was face up, I'd have been scared.
You just get claustrophobic and they're not
Whereas
the
when
nicest.
you're down, I could, and they put a little mirror in front of you so you can actually see. So I was like, I can see the room, so it's okay. So but the MRI biopsy went on for an hour, and they took over 100 biopsies from me. It was like this tiny, tiny needle that went in and out, in and out, in and out, for like the full 45 minutes to an hour. And I was like, but she found it. It was a second cancer, the start of a second cancer. It was very, very early days, but they needed to know before the start of my chemo in case I needed a different type of treatment.
And was that a split of the cell, or was it just two completely different cancers?
Totally different cancers in one breast, which was just crazy.
That is so lucky that she found that as well, because you could have gone and had treatment for the other one.
Yeah.
And that
wouldn't have been treated. So it was like, but lucky enough, the treatment the plan had already been given.
Yeah.
It treated both of them, which was really good.
And is there any previous cancer in your family or anything like that?
No, it was not hereditary. My granddad's side, his sisters had it years ago, but they don't class that as hereditary. They were like, no, that wouldn't affect this. And I didn't have the BRCA gene either. So it was just a case of, it happened to me.
So then after like the MRI scan, what was like the next steps?
So
was
that
it like
day, I had this in the Royal, that my poor mum, she's in the waiting room, and she said, Amy, after 20 minutes, because usually they don't take that long, do they? She says, I was thinking, where is she? So after 20 minutes, she'd gone up to the reception. She was like, is everything okay? Is she nearly done? She was like, oh, she should be out soon. And then my mum says, I sat there again for another 20 minutes. And I was like, no, something's not right. I was like, but she didn't understand it took that long. Yeah, she was beside herself.
Yeah.
But then we had my first chemo appointment at 1:00 that afternoon. So this was at 10 in the morning. So then I come out, because I've been upside down for that long, like on my face, my mum said to come out, my face was purple. She was like, is everything okay? I was like, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah, and then we went to the Marina's Egg Leach that day, and I started my treatment that day.
So when they kind of obviously present you with treatment, I've never worked in oncology. It's not been one of my specialties, or like kind of anywhere that I've done a placement in.
Yeah.
So when they present you, they say like obviously your diagnosis, do they then present you with different treatment plans? Can you choose, or do they normally
it's always
just
your
come?
choice.
Yeah.
It's 100% your choice, because it's at the end of the day, it's your body. It's up to you what you choose to do with it. I know that loads of girls that would not want chemotherapy, but it worked for me. A lot of people want to do holistic treatments. I wanted the fastest, quickest treatment, because I wanted to make sure that I was still here and alive for the kids. I was like, there was no question in my mind. I was always going to have chemo. And some people are terrified of it because it's the chemo that is harsh on you instead of the cancer. Eventually the cancer will kill you, but the chemotherapy, a lot of people have bad reactions to it. I had an allergic reaction the second time. I had one called EC, which is known as Red Devil because of the colour of it. And they make you fully aware when you're going in for it how harsh it is. You can only be given it every 3 weeks. It's that strong, and it completely wipes your hair from everywhere. That's why you lose your hair. But obviously you've got the cold cap, which I wore and saved like 80% of my hair.
And I love that we've come on to this subject, because obviously now you are literally being known as like an innovator for this obviously cap, because explain to people, because before we'd ever spoken, I never knew that what this cap was and everything like that.
So I didn't invent the cold cap. What I have invented is the cold cap comforter, which is a product that can be worn alongside the cold cap. So the cold cap itself, if no one's aware of it, it's a I can describe it as, do you know like an ice pack, what you get in the freezer, the blue ones, like if you just go for a picnic on the beach or whatever, and you throw them in the cooler. So it's that type of material. It's plastic. It fits on your head. It's literally tight to your scalp. They pop it looks a little bit like a jockey helmet when you've got it on. And it's tight to your head, so tight. So you wear that. You wear it for an hour prior to be giving you chemo. So it has to get to a temperature where your hair follicles are frozen. So it goes to -30. So you have to wear it an hour before you administrated your actual chemo. So then your chemotherapy, mine used to take like an hour and a half to be given. So I had to have it on for 2.5 hours. Then you'd have to keep the cap on for it to cool down so it didn't pull your hair out when you took it off. So in total, you'd have it on for 4 hours. And it was freezing.
That takes some strong mindset to be able, and strength to sit there
strength
with it
I didn't know I had,
Yeah.
let me tell you, because I've always had a high pain threshold and things like that, like having the kid. I think once you've had kids, you have, haven't you? That's the way it is. But to be mentally strong, and I had Reiki the other day, and it was funny, we were talking about it. My friend that tells us that she's gorgeous, she said, she was asking me, because we were speaking about the cold cap comforter, and she said, how what was you saying to yourself when you had to keep that on your head? And I was like, well, I just used to sit there and say, it's mind over matter. You've got to keep your hair. You have to keep your hair. You don't want the kids to know that you're as sick as you are. You've got to keep some normality. Just dig deep. That's what I kept saying to myself. And then to come into how I invented the cold cap comforter.
And you never lost any hair, did you? Either?
I lost
just
my
a little
crown.
bit.
It shed. It thinned. I didn't lose. It didn't go bald.
Yeah.
And I lost my sideburns. They did go, but that was because the cap only went to about there.
Yeah.
So everywhere where the cap kept, it just thinned. But yeah, the nurses says I've never seen a woman keep as much hair as Amy's kept, because I was just like, but there was loads of different things I did. I had a full regime that I used to follow religiously at home, and it was just my own thing I did. Obviously, I researched a lot because I was like, what can I do to not? They give you guidelines. I wouldn't wash my hair. I didn't wash my hair for 5 months.
So tell us some of the things that you did, because there might be people out there that go, oh, do you know
I've
what?
actually got a guide. So if anyone does want to contact me, I'll send the guide to them, because I thought this is so helpful. So the nurses, they tell you there's much information, but unless you've done it yourself, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So they obviously advise you as best as they can. So you're not meant to wash. So they say you can wash your hair basically once a week if you're wearing the cold cap weekly. You can't wash your hair 3 days before wearing it, and you can't wash it until 3 days after wearing it. So it gives you like 1 day in the week that you can wash your hair. And I just thought, you know what? When you wash your hair anyway, you lose a lot of hair. You can lose hair. So I thought, I'm just not going to wash it. That's it. I'm just going to slap it back in a pony. So I'd started buying wigs then. I thought I can have whatever colour hair I want.
I'll be any colour that I want to be this week, darling.
My favourite one was pink. I'd go to work in a pink tuna, because I'd be pink wig on, and I'd be like, do you know what? I'll suit the salon, it's fine.
Yeah.
So that was quite fun, to be honest. And I put that in the guide because I thought, it gives you a bit of confidence as well. Because that was my confidence was on the floor when I was unwell. And people would look at me and go, oh, Amy, you look amazing. I looked amazing considering I had cancer.
Yeah.
But for me, when I look back at pictures now, it makes me sad, because I think she didn't have a clue what was going on.
But I love that that's what you said there about the pink cap, and just to help you up, because I know a few people who have been like breast cancer survivors, and I've always asked them, what do you think got you through it? And they've always said the positive mindset. I just had
100%.
to, I knew where the goal was, and I just had to go on the journey and make sure I got there.
And it is a journey. It's a massive journey. But when I'm very impatient and I look at things, I'm very like, I don't know what the word is to describe. I'm very anal over everything. And I have a set plan, and I'm like, right, so this will be done by this date, that will be done by that date. And that's the way I like to work. And I've worked like that throughout my life. But I can be unorganised sometimes. So it's like organised chaos at the same time. So I'm just like, right, okay. So when I asked the doctor, I said, so how long have I got to have treatment for? And she was like, so about 5 months. So in my head, I was like, 5 months and I'm done. That's it, done. Oh no, that's not how it goes at all. And in my mind, I thought, so after the 5 months of the initial chemo to get rid of the cancer, and then went on to have a mastectomy, had my left breast removed. Then after that, I had 15 rounds of radiotherapy.
Wow.
Then after that, you could have knocked my mum over with a feather this day. We went for an oncology review, and they were talking to me about the treatment that I'd be on. I knew I'd be on treatment for about another 10 years, hormonal treatment or targeted treatment. So when they explained I'd have another 14 rounds of chemo, another 14 rounds, I mean, you could have knocked my mum over with a feather. I was like, I've got to go back to the chemo ward, because I put that to bed. I rang the bell. I was like, I don't need to go back. I knew I'd go back monthly for injections, but it's not the same as having to sit and actually have chemo. I was like, I can't believe this. But then it was not as harsh. I didn't have to wear the cold cap alongside that chemo, which was good, because that was the hardest part, believe it or not. It's just so painful sitting there. So again, I've gone completely off on a tangent. But with the cold cap comforter, that made it easier to actually persevere, because the first time I wore the cold cap, I got frostbite. It was my head. I had indentations all across my forehead, and it stayed there for like 2 days.
Oh, God bless you.
So it's hard enough that you feel unwell and you just drain from it all, and then to look in the mirror and just be like, and look, I have been in, I don't know, some kind of car accident. It's crazy. So I thought, you know what? There's got to be a solution, because on the ward, they give you gauze to put underneath it to cushion it, but it doesn't work because it's not strong enough.
Because you were saying, wasn't you, a lot of the ladies or patients on the ward getting this would not wear it because it was just
it's that
too
painful. So I've actually had friends one of my friends was diagnosed around the same time as me, not long after me, And she just decided, she tried it once and she used to get so upset knowing that she'd have to go and wear that because it was so uncomfortable. And I thought, no, there's got to be something, a solution to this. So that's where the cold cap comforter come in. I used to cut anything up that I could get my hands on. I'd be cutting tops up, I'd be cutting pajamas up. And my mum would be like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm putting this under the cold cap when I go. I was like, do you think they'll let me? She went, I think they'll let you do whatever you want. She went, you just turn up and you're like, right, this is what I'm doing. So yeah, in the end, it took me 2 years to develop it because it had to be a specific size. All the measurements had to be spot on because it was really important. If any of the fabric to the cold cap comforter touched anyone's hairline or scalp, then that could affect the treatments. So it had to be spot on. So,
especially in the NHS as well, for them to allow you to do that, because, you know, they have to cover themselves with absolutely everything. God forbid they let you wear that and then your treatment wasn't go to plan
the way you wanted it to.
Then they're there for liability and stuff like that. So that's amazing.
Well, it's all been trials and tested, and because I've done it personally, it's my lived experience. I knew I've got 100% confidence in it, and I know that it makes a massive difference. So now I just get messages constantly from cancer patients who are saying to me, even a woman's husband is going through going through cancer, but he had gorgeous hair, and the girls on the walls had said, it's pink, it's bright pink, the whole cap comforter, but they were like, would he wear it? Because, you know, this really helps a lot of people tolerate it more. And she sent me an amazing message saying how thankful she was and how much better it's made him feel because he gets to keep his identity.
So the other little things that you did alongside, because I know our listeners, and if there's anyone out there going through this journey at the moment, so you said you put like a regime, so you didn't wash your hair.
Obviously, so I chose not to wash my hair. I just thought, what's the point? If I can save one more strands, I will. So I just used to scrape it back in a bun and just be like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'd do that. I'd wear, if I had an event to go to, like birthdays or anything like that, I'd just throw a wig on. And you can get wigs as cheap as £10 on Amazon, and you can have any colour you want, it doesn't matter. And they all look fab. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. So I think I had every single colour wig. And then you have to have a special brush. It's a detangling brush, but it's just special kinds. I've put that in the guide, what one I used. Again, that was really cheap. I think it was about £5 off Amazon. And then what else? I still to this day sleep with a silk pillowcase. Because that definitely saves your hair. But again, I do it because obviously I want to keep my hair nice as well now. So I sleep with a silk pillowcase. Another thing that I've done, if I did decide I wanted to dye my hair, I've only used purely natural ingredients. I can't remember the name of it, but I bought it in Boots. It was like a type of henna hair dye. It was a bit like mud. But it worked. I was like, because I'm naturally blonde. Yeah. So at the time, I had dark hair like Unique, and I was like, what are we going to do? I can't be going down with these bright white roots. So those are all the things I've done. I can't think if there was anything else. Yeah, just not touching it, don't put heat on it or anything like that.
In terms of mindset, was there anything that you did, like that you just thought, like holistic approach to it, that you thought, okay, I really need to like positive like mindsets with it all?
I went to the gym every day.
Amazing.
But I mean, I'm not the way I go to the gym now. Like, I wasn't weightlifting.
Just a walk.
Just for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It was more accountability. Because I was obviously gone to the same gym for years, and everyone knows your face, don't they? So if they'd see you going every day, they'd be like, oh, you look great, and it'd make me feel better and uplift me. And I'd be like, do you know what? I'm going to keep going, and I'm sort of holding myself accountable that I can get up, I can go and do it, even if it's 5 minutes. It's sort of giving me that normality. So that really helped me with my mind. I was thinking the more normal I can act and behave, the more normal things are, even though when I look back now, that is like, this is the new normal. Nothing was going to be normal again is what I mean. Nothing at all. That was, So
with regards to your children then, because obviously that's all I'll sit here and think, you know how I cry everything and stuff. But what advice have you got out there for, you know, if it is someone that is going through that with small children? How did you keep your children not away from it, because it's certainly, you can't do that, but how did you keep them sort of positive, happy?
Do you know what? I was really honest with them. Really honest. And I know a lot of people opt to not tell the children, which is fine. That's your own decision. But I just didn't want them to look back and be like shocked. Years and years to come when they're older and be shocked and be like, oh, right, okay. So I was just really upfront and honest. And my children's nan, their father's mum, she had cancer a few years ago. So my daughter was old enough to remember that. So she's seen her nan come through the treatment and get better. And she wasn't afraid because she knew her nan had battled it and she survived and she was fine. So I could do the same. Whereas my son, he was only little. He was, and it makes me sad really. I've got it's his birthday tomorrow. He's going to be 11.
Happy birthday!
So yeah, Oscar's 11 tomorrow. But I was looking at pictures to put up for his birthday, and there's one of me in bed and I'm unwell and he's lying on me, and it still makes me emotional because I think he was just so loving. And the only when I decided to tell him was when he asked me. Thought if he notices, I'm going to tell him. So I had a PICC line in my arm, obviously, to get me chemotherapy. And once he noticed, he was like, "Mum, what's that?" So I said, right, so Mummy's not well. I said, she's sick. I said, but she's going to be better. I said, and this PICC line is to give me magic medicine to make me better. I said, so that's what that's for. And he was like, oh, okay. And that was it. As long as any questions that he had and I answered, he was fine. So yeah, that's the way I dealt with it.
And did you have, like, because obviously your kiddies go to the same school as my little boy, was there external help from, like, the education system to help you with them?
The school that our kids go to is fantastic, fabulous. Like, can't thank them enough, especially Miss Stevens.
Yeah,
she
she's
was
great,
so
isn't
supportive.
she?
Yeah, she was amazing. She was obviously fully aware of the situation, and I let them know, if he gets upset in school or anything like that, please do let me know. But they were brilliant with him.
Because the thing is, we've got to remember, you was obviously self-employed in all this as well.
That was the scariest part.
And I was going to say...
So how am I even going to continue to pay my mortgage? Am I going to feed the kids? I was like, because to be fair, there's not much financial help in that sense.
Yeah.
I wasn't entitled to some of the financial help.
And it's
because I was self-employed and I had a salon and a business, and I was like, but I've still got to pay wages. I've got to, like, look after the staff. I've got to maintain the building. I've got to... It didn't stop. Yeah. But to be honest, when I look at it now, that helped me get through it because I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
I couldn't. If I think if I'd stuck my foot off the brake for a minute, I'd have probably gone, right, that's it. I'm staying in bed until it's over.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I kept going.
You fought it. Yeah. And that's what's amazing about it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I know that obviously then you did your chemo and you were obviously given the option then to have...
So yeah, you have
surgery.
The surgery side of things was really difficult. I had my poor mum up the wall. So my mum and dad, they live abroad. So they come to live with me for 6 months, obviously, to help me. They were backwards and forwards all the time. They were with me for the first 6 months. So that all those appointments, my poor mum, she must have been like, I'd have to be the last patient to be seen because I'd have the doctor in there for hours. I'd be like, right, I don't know what I want, Mrs. Strachey, what am I having? In the end, I let them take the decision out of my hands.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I'm going to sit here going backwards and forwards. You know what's best for me. I'm not a surgeon, I don't know. So in the end, they decided my options were I had delayed reconstruction because I had to have more chemo. So with the delayed reconstruction, the breast had to come off.
Did they take that off first initially before doing chemo?
No, I had the first 5 months. So that was to shrink the cancer because it was obviously widespread and it was 2. So they'd done that to shrink it. And then they were hoping that it'd be completely eradicated by the treatment. So when I had my mastectomy, I obviously then needed something to be put in place. So you can have an implant or you can have what's called an expander or you can be left with nothing. It's up to you. So I was backwards and forwards between the implant and the expander. There's complications with all of it, as any surgery is. And so I was just like, because I had naturally big boobs, I think I was like, at the time, I was about to 34E. So I had one big massive boob on this side, which wasn't great because I had 2 kids. It was probably by my belly button. And then the one on the left, which had been removed, they explained to me if I opted for an implant, it'd be like a footy stuck on. And then I was thinking that'd be worse than having nothing, I think. But with the expander, that looked a bit more natural. So we thought, right, okay, in a bra, it'll be fine. We'll deal with it as long as I'm cancer-free, it doesn't matter.
And what is that? Is that just like a...
It's like a water balloon.
Oh, stop.
It's like a water balloon. It's really clever. So it's a water balloon. When at the time of your surgery, it's only half full with saline.
Yeah.
Then it's got like a valve in it, which they get a big needle after your surgery and you go for a few weeks afterwards and they inject it with saline to bring it to the right size.
Wow.
So clever. So and that it's so your skin can
and
stretch
also
as
mentally as well, seeing that and just still feeling that little bit normal, it takes your mind away from it a little bit, doesn't it?
I was crying my eyes out saying to my mum, what am I going to look like? I'm only young. I'm not going to have a breast. You're a woman. I'm curvy. I was like, I was like, this now. My mum was like, oh, she was like, I get it. But, people say I was long. Some people wouldn't care, but it mattered to me. I was
Especially
like,
your
it's really
age as
important,
well. Yeah, it's like
It's your confidence,
of
isn't
course it is, and
So yeah,
there's a lot to think. It's not
So
just
much to
having
take
that
in.
diagnosis, is it? There's people don't realise the vast amount of thoughts that go through your head, obviously with it, all and stuff. So then obviously then you got the reconstruction. I know you went to Dr. Tag, who's absolutely sensational, isn't she?
That I waited for that for a while. So as obviously had me expander fitted, and then after the radiotherapy, I had my expander, and then I had to have radiotherapy, so that disfigured the expander. It went like, I've actually got a picture of it on my Instagram, because I wanted to raise as much awareness. People are so unsure of what your body looks like after it and what side effects the radiotherapy can have. So it was actually rock hard. It was so uncomfortable. It was like digging out this side of my chest.
Bless you.
So when I went to see Miss Tag, she's fabulous. I was like, I've hit the lottery. And I was like, I can't believe she's doing my reconstruction.
She's like an artist, isn't
gorgeous.
she?
Yeah, she's such a gorgeous person.
She is.
So I was over the moon, and she just instantly made me feel like, I remember saying to her, I'm going to look like Kim Kardashian. And she went, you're going to look better than Kim Kardashian.
I love
that. I was like, you're gorgeous. So yeah, so she's done the reconstruction, the full reconstruction. That was just in May last year.
Yeah.
So that was a massive operation. I didn't realise how big that was. My mum warned me, don't be watching that on YouTube, because that's something I'd do. And then I wouldn't get it done. I would have been like, no. So that entails the expander coming out, me right breast being uplifted and reduced to match the new breast that she was going to make me from my stomach tissue.
That's incredible, isn't it? It really is.
Honestly, I'll show you after the podcast, because you'll be like, as if that's your stomach. Yeah, but I can't believe it. I'm over the moon with it. It's not complete, because they do 90% of the reconstruction, which is removing the tissue from hip to hip, creating the new breast. So obviously I've still got no nipple on my left side. So they actually can make you a new nipple now out of the tissue from your body.
It's just what they can do. It's sensational, isn't it? Because what are the stats now? Were the stats quite high?
For breast cancer? I'm not exactly 100% on breast cancer, but I was speaking to my oncologist nurse last week, and she was saying it's actually 1 in 2 of us in our lifetime will get cancer.
God,
that's the stats at the moment. Yeah, I was like...
It's scary, isn't it? Because you don't actually know. As we all say, it's not happened to me.
Yeah. You just don't think that that's the case, but... I mean, the way I advocate for breast cancer awareness so much now, because the treatment is outstanding. It's amazing. And when I look at everything that I've gone through, it's just made me a better person.
I was going to say that the journey, like with the other side of it, because obviously we spoke before and you were just said, I wouldn't be the person I am if that wouldn't have happened to me.
And I wouldn't be a voice for so many people or not even just a voice, but just like a sounding board. So many girls message me and ask me what to expect of this treatment. And I'm just grateful that I'm in a position to be able to actually share my lived experience, and that helps them get through theirs. Because that fear, unless you're in it, you can't explain it to anyone.
Because it is, you're just seeing it getting younger and younger and younger, and it's just you're seeing people, and you're just like, oh my God, they're so young.
As young as 23 who we're dealing with it now, and it's hard, but you can get through it. I'm living proof of it. You can get through it, and you can make something so positive out of such a negative experience. I definitely turned my pain into purpose,
and that's what we're seeing now, aren't we? So we're seeing with obviously it's kind of really starting to come. And who would have known at the beginning of that you would have come out through the side and had now a product that's going to help so many people? Because like you were just telling us before, so the NHS have now.
They've actually placed an order for one of the hospital, one of the sites have placed an order for a year's worth. So that's going to help so many patients.
100%.
And I just can't believe I'm an NHS supplier, and I can't believe that's what's come out of it.
And I think that's why you've got to give yourself credit, because anything the NHS take in, they've got it.
Of course, it's got to be spot on.
That's what I mean. Like they can't just advocate for anything, and to know that a product that you've sat there to get you through your journey.
And it's actually, I can't believe it. It's like a pinch me moment, to be honest. I still go to my mum, as if this is happening. And she's like, I know. I said, as if this, I was only at my nan and granddad's last night, and my granddad's, every time I see them, where are you up to with everything? What's going on? And I was like, well, this is happening, that's happening. And then they're just like, it's mad. I did say I'm grateful for the whole experience, because who'd have thought that this would have come out of it or brought me. I feel like this is my true purpose. And
realistically, you've got to think though, if your beauty experience beforehand and your mindset towards beauty and the out, like literally, would you have ever had that kind of even thought pattern
exactly.
of what I wanted
I think through developing all of my own products in the I've got my own lash brand still, and I've developed self-tan. I've developed so many different products over the years. There's loads of things I've developed. I've got an adult toy line and everything. I've got loads of things. I've always been developing things. Yeah. No, but that again, I'm actually made up. It's so strange. All those things that I developed prior to this happening, I've found a way to incorporate them into helping cancer patients. Because another thing with the adult toy line side of things, it's not as easy. It's purely for women, and it's very girly. And the one thing I've suffered with at the moment, I've been medically put into the menopause. Yeah. That comes with so many side effects, and it affects your body, especially as a 36-year-old woman. Things have been happening that I was like, sorry, what's going on here? Yeah. And then when I'd speak to the nurse, she explains all the side effects to me, and I was thinking, we've got to put a stop to this. Yeah. And women still who are going through the menopause, you know, I'm single, I'm on my own. You still deserve to feel good about yourself.
And also, do you know, the thing is, like, obviously, you know, like obviously the hormones that come from pleasure, it still needs to kind of be explored. So when you're being put into premenopause, and even like down to kind of, obviously it's a big thing that's happening to you. A lot of ladies might not want to get undressed in front of their partners.
100%. People feel so self-conscious.
Yeah. So
that's it. It's a form of self-care at the end of the day, isn't it? And it's really important. So I have to be careful what I say, because I remember I've still got a 15-year-old. Who might listen to this?
But yeah, we're keeping it classy and all that, like kind of with it all, absolutely.
But that's another thing I'm definitely going to bring to the forefront and see, because that'll help all the young girls as well. Like you say, they're going to feel self-conscious. You could have a young girl who is single and is too afraid to meet anyone and get herself out there. You just don't know. So there's ways and means around making yourself feel as good as you can.
Absolutely.
And taking care of yourself the best you can.
Because especially as well, like obviously years ago, if anyone went through this, it wasn't so much social media in your face. So like social media is hard enough anyway on any young girl and guys nowadays. We're seeing it. I mean, it's got really detrimental effects on. But to be going through something so major, your body changing, the heightened body dysmorphia that can probably create an anxiety in yourself, and then be faced with social media and girls.
Yeah. And the pressure's massive, isn't it? Anyway, you look at it and you're like, oh, and the kids nowadays, I'm just glad that it wasn't like that when I was our Daisy's age. Because I just think now it's too much pressure.
100%.
And then to be going through such a dramatic change, it was hard for me. And I've had my kids, you know what I mean? I'm a grown woman, I know myself, and I get it. Like, I know I'll be fine, and eventually I don't know. It's even now I think, I don't know, I can't be bothered. I'm not meeting anyone. I think I've gone through too much. I know, but I think I've gone through too much, and then I think, can I be bothered sitting down and being like, by the way, I've only got one nipple. Do you know what I mean?
They'll love you for you it's the right person.
But imagine, I wouldn't like to scare anyone. You couldn't just, it's not something you can just spring on someone, is it? They'd be like, where's that gone?
Do you know what I think it is? I think because when you go through a journey like that, it brings a sense of peace. Then you've got that inner gratitude and that kind of like, oh my God, I feel so abundant that I'm still here.
Of course,
that it then becomes hard for someone to come in.
100%.
Because you're just like, okay, if you're going to unsettle me peace.
Oh, it's not happening. That's all I go on about. I'm like, no, sorry, I can't afford to do that, because it's your mental health. It's everything. Like I am very set in my ways, and I do worry about that, because I think I like my space the way it is. I like everything in its place. And my kids, I honestly, ask anyone, they are really good. They don't do anything. They don't put anything else to put. And I'm just like, yeah, this is the way I like it. So I do, me and my mates laugh, because I always think, I don't know, you can block your own blessings sometimes, can't you? But
when it's meant to be, it'll come in. I think that's what it is. I think your purpose at the moment is really still this journey and what you're kind of putting out to the world.
Focused at the minute, and yeah, I think that my time needs to be spent on making as much of a difference as I can while I can, and obviously while I've got that drive to do it.
Because obviously we spoke about how much pressure and stress you used to put on yourself before this happened. So and it was like, we've all been there. You do it, I do it. And I've learned a little bit now. It's just constant, isn't it? And I've really noticed now I'm really a bit more like, okay, surrendering to a lot of it and thinking, do you know what? I'm putting too much pressure.
It's not necessary.
Yeah, what makes me feel good, I'll stay in that 100%. Kind of lane. How do you feel afterwards now? Because that must have been hard, especially when you're a workaholic, to then come back and be like, I'm not putting this.
Self-employed psycho. I was like, I've got to do this, but do you know what? Only now it's been 3 years, and it's taken me 3 years, I'd say, to actually look now and be thinking, wow, like my life is so calm, and I'm still here. I've still got a roof over my head. My kids are fine. We're all fed and watered. I used to just think like, well, if I'm not working 12 hours a day and I'm not constantly making money and I'm not doing this and doing that, what's going to happen? And getting breast cancer forced me to stop. It forced me to slow down. It forced me to realise what's actually important. And all that materialistic, like, we all like nice things. That's course, like, do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it really puts things into perspective where it's like, your health is your wealth. And without that, you haven't got anything. You can't get up and do anything. You can't go to work. You can't do anything. So without that, just really, it slowed me down. But at the time, I've struggled. Sometimes I still find it hard to switch off, but I'm learning and I'm getting there. And like you say, I'm doing different things that help me every day. And I think
having these conversations for us as well makes us realise, because obviously we've not been through.
So you're still in that where you're working constantly. And
we're still.
It's sometimes it's survival mode as well, isn't it? Yeah. I was in survival mode because I'm obviously so driven and ambitious, but on my own, you build this life for yourself and you have to sustain it. And then getting breast cancer, I was thinking, how on earth am I going to sustain this if I can't constantly work the way I was working? But I have. I'm better off for it, do you know what I mean? And I think I've got there eventually.
And I think what it is for me, I see all the time, like I'm 40 now, so I'm a bit like, send me Zen here.
Just look at over 21.
No, be just again, baby. And do you know what I hate? And look, I fell for it myself. It's this thing on social media. You should be a boss bitch.
Yeah.
This needs to stop.
No, do you know what? I used to be that girl, like, you want to be a boss bitch. And now I'm like, I'm tired.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, I'm knackered. I can't be bothered being a boss bitch anymore. But it does. It puts so much pressure on people, doesn't it? And then people become ill from it. And
people think that they've got this standard to keep. You set the standard that high for yourself, and then you think, I'm guilty of this in so many ways, and I'm trying my best to stop, and I'm getting there. But I used to set a standard that high that it was like impossible, and then I'd kick myself if I didn't reach a certain goal when I was expected to. But everything that is meant for you does not pass you by, and I'm starting to surrender to that as well. So it is getting there, and I think. I hope by the time I'm 40 that I'm fully surrendered and I'm not like still putting that pressure on myself, but I totally get what you mean. And I do agree that it's great to be your own boss and it's great to earn your own money. All of that. I'm very women, I'm all for the girls and women empowerment.
Absolutely,
I do strive
but be
for that.
kind to yourself on the way as well. And it's funny because when I did meditation course with Martin Bone, we've had Martin on the show and he's just incredible.
Yeah. I'll have to say, I don't know whether I've seen that one or not.
He's great. And he told me something on his course at the weekend and he said, we focus too much on the destination that we don't enjoy the journey. Yeah. And I said, that's so true. And I feel like I've implemented this on the podcast. We don't know where we're going with this, do we? But every week
you're on the journey.
Just enjoy it. I'm just like, and we only said to each other the other day, we haven't filmed for a few weeks and I've missed it. And we were like, it's so true because we don't know what the final destination is. We're just enjoying the process as we're going. And
being here and just having conversations. I said this to you, didn't I? I've enjoyed actually sitting. I've hardly spoke on any of them. Because
you like listening to everyone.
I'm learning new things off somebody all the time. And a lot of it is just self-development because that's the sort of niche that we're working with as well. But just meeting new people, learning how they live, how they've changed their lives. And a lot of the time, it's me trying to tell that to other people, because they see me doing it. And so it's nice
it's nice to take from others.
Sit down.
It's like collaborative, isn't it?
Always.
Everyone's like collaborating their life experience together and you take things from every guest that we've had.
Everyone's got a different lived experience, haven't they?
Absolutely.
We can all learn from
each other. Then I drive home thinking, I can't believe what they've just said that. You would never have thought that about them. And you don't realise a lot of people have gone through things and you wouldn't know what you see them as because you've only just met them. And I'm like, God, they went through that. I think I'm a strong believer in your vibe attracts your tribe as well.
So
and you'd always meet these people who you can learn from or take something from or you can help each other. And I just think that's what it's all about. And years ago, I just didn't have that outlook. I was very laser focused on what can I earn from this? How am I going to make money, the X, Y, and Z? And now I'm so grateful that that's not the purpose anymore.
And it is funny you say that because that we were saying this, like this doesn't feel hard to us. Like
it's easy.
Our guests just naturally
gravitate to
us. And I think it's because when we are here, like if I'm in clinic, there'll be a million things I've got to do, but this brings full awareness. I have to sit in my awareness.
Yeah, you're present.
So when I'm there, I'm like present with the person there,
it's
rather
nice,
than my mind
to have that
going.
conversation.
And it's just a beautiful few hours when we're doing it, isn't it? And to sit with someone and be so present in each other's company.
Yeah, without your phone in your hands as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say this as well. Our phones, it's amazing that you can sit in bed and make money from your phone or just do whatever you need to do. It's great, and we can keep in touch. Like my family live abroad, so we can keep in touch through FaceTime, things like that. But I just think it's so important sometimes to put it down for a few hours and just have a break, because it's like I can get anxiety from my phone. And
that's
I'm
true. What's going bing,
when you open your screen. Like, I have Facebook for business only, and there's some days I go on and I think, I have to come off it because I go on it for share something, but what other people write. It's not even me.
No, I know, but then you can get yourself in a scroll hole, can't you? And you're like, I've been sassy for 10
comments. Look what they've written. Oh my God. And then you click on their page and it takes you to something else. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I
start going, I love 50 Cent. I think he's hilarious.
He's great.
So I'll go on his page, but then the next minute I'm like knee deep in 2001 and I'm like, you have got work to do. What are you doing? Put the phone down.
So how do you find balance now to know, obviously, me health, work, family, when you've come out of this journey? Because obviously your life's completely changed now.
I've got to be honest, I made a really scary decision. It was a really risky decision. The week of me reconstruction in May last year, I was sat in the salon, the one I'd renovated. I'd spent so much time and energy there and I loved it. But this 1 week, it was weird. I just sat down in the reception. I was like, I just don't want this anymore. I felt like I'd come to the end of the road. I'd done everything I wanted to set out to do in that type of thing. And I was like, it's not for me anymore. I love the beauty industry and I'd never leave it. That's why I wanted to solely focus on education. So I looked at it like, do you know what? If I close the doors to the salon, all right, I'm closing the doors to the academy and everything, but realistically, I can do that from anywhere.
And you're creating space for new.
That's it. And I was like, do you know what? Let go of it because it's not serving you anymore. You've come to the end of the road where that's concerned. So it was a hard decision to make, but it wasn't hard. It was easy for me. But everyone around me was like, she's gone mad. She's obviously gone mad because. And my mum said to me, are you sure you're not making like a hasty decision? I said, honestly, I've never been more content and sure that this is the right thing to do. I was that sure. I think I just shut the door. I left most of the stuff there. I wasn't bothered. I left the signs up and everything. I was like, I'm not bothered. I was like, it's stuff. I'm not bothered.
I think people think the beauty industry or like the aesthetics and that, it's an easy job, but it's actually
so
one
hard.
of the most stressful jobs, I think, because you take
taxing
a lot
on
of
your
energy.
mental health and it's taxing on you. It can drain you.
Yeah.
And I'm an empath. So I do take on other people's problems and I will.
That's us. Yeah, we always say it.
It was only last week I voice noted you, didn't I? And I said, right now in my career, if I could, which I could, but I just choose not to right now, I'd retire from it and I'd just do Pilates.
Would you know?
Yeah.
She loves it.
You're
so invested now. You love it, don't you?
I just go for it.
That's one thing I say.
How it makes me feel like this. When you're present, you can't be anywhere else because, well, you obviously fall off the bed or whatever. So you've got to be fully in it, but it's just the way it makes me feel inside as a person,
That's what you have to
as
think
everything.
About. Like now going and do my beauty education is the best decision I ever made. I get to travel to different salons, so I'm still in that environment, but I get to go give someone the opportunity to open their own academy and become, everything that they wanted to be. And because that's when you start out in the beauty industry, the end of the road is an educator.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful that I'm in the position to be doing that now for people because I remember being 18 and thinking I love Cheryl Taylor, loved her. And I was like, I want to be like Cheryl. When I'm older, that's exactly who I want to be. I want to be teaching people. And now I look and think you've done everything you set out to do, but it's on a bigger scale and you've opened doors. I think because you're comfortable, it's hard, isn't it, to go, you don't like being uncomfortable, but that's when you grow.
Yeah.
And it takes big risks and decisions to say, right, that's closed now.
I think that's what it is. I think when you start to feel like that your passion's going, it's time to go.
Time. Before you start hating it as well.
Yeah, I'm being told I'm due to move on to something.
It's like a calling, isn't it? You get it.
I love it. I do love it. Yeah. It's the way it's changed over years.
I do think it's very different to what was a few years ago. And I started to feel like it wasn't fun anymore. That's how I felt. And
It's
I
like
was
a chore,
thinking,
isn't it? Thinking like, well, what do I've got to deal with today, or what changes are going to be made in the industry?
Yeah.
What do I need to make sure I'm
You're
up
doing.
against and I've got in place? And it's just a lot. And
Exactly.
on top of kids and normal general life,
Yeah,
and
it's difficult.
this for me, I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's the seriousness, isn't it? That it's lost its like kind of professional, how serious, like the beauty. And you know, at the end of the day, even if you're doing a set of eyebrows, you should be patch tested because someone can have a reaction, and people just don't care no more, do they? In the industry,
And literally train in a day.
Yeah.
300 quid, 20 certificates, and Bob's your uncle. And I just think it just takes the whole light off what it actually is and stuff. So
I
for
love
me,
the reason I solely focus on education as well is because it gives women the independence to earn their own money and to come away from the 9 to 5 and things like that. I'm big on that because I just feel like you are a prisoner in your own life when you're living like that, because you want to be able to pick kids up from school. You want to be able to have a day off if you need it. You want to be able to sort your house out, all that type of stuff. And I just think the beauty industry is amazing in that sense because it opens so many doors. But I totally get what you're saying as well. There's so many. I
think we need regulations coming a little bit more, a little bit tighter, you know, like, because I know when I trained, you had to have beauty level 3 BTCT, and you couldn't even do anything without that certificate, whereas it's
different now, isn't it?
Because I remember doing that exam, it was actually harder than my nurse, and I had all it written all up my arms. I'd be like, this, I'll have BCT a letter through now saying we're taking your qualification back.
No, you won't.
And then I did my nurse, and I was like, but nursing's very regulatory.
Yes.
So like it was just 2 different sides of things, I'd probably say. But they both, I feel like they both really complement each other.
Yeah.
When it comes to doing like anything like aesthetics and stuff.
Well, the aesthetic side of things, I don't teach anyone to be a teacher in aesthetics because I'm not trained in aesthetics. So I would never do that. So I always refer anyone on to those ways do sergeant training. They're amazing. That's what you want to do, guys. It's fabulous. But yeah, no, I totally get it. And I'm a strong believer in that. That's why anyone comes to me and they're like, oh, well, I do aesthetics immediately. I'm like, no, sorry, it's a different qualification. That's not something I'm trained in. So I'm not going to even attempt it.
So tell us while we round off, because honestly, you're just amazing. Tell us your 10-year plan, because obviously now,
do you know what?
Let's do 5 years.
Yeah, we'll do 5. I haven't thought of 10 yet, but I have got a 5-year plan. So the 5-year plan is the cold cap company that I've developed. I would love Paxman, the company who have developed the cold cap. I'd love them to collaborate with me on some level. That's a goal.
That's going to happen. I can feel it.
Something really exciting is happening soon, but I can't say what. But I'm hoping that that's going to put me on the road to that happening. And do you know, that's the only goal, the big goal that I've got in my head at the moment. But also to be able to, I think I want to move as well. I don't know whether I want to stay in Liverpool anymore.
There's a lot of people saying this at the minute. They just like kind of want to.
I think I just want a simple life. I think I just want to live in the middle of nowhere.
Fields and just
absolutely look out the
nature.
window and just see grass. I think that's it. My mum and dad, they live abroad, don't they? So I don't know if I could abscond to there. Whether they'd have me, I don't know.
I think everyone wants, when they're starting on this journey, people just want peace now, don't they?
Well, that's it. I honestly say peace over everything, because I had a really erratic nervous system before I got breast cancer. And that's what's changed more than anything. I've never felt so calm. I don't suffer from anxiety anymore. Where work's concerned and things like that, we still suffer. I've still got health anxiety and all the rest of it. That's going to be normal, isn't it? But yeah, we're just a peaceful life. And I think, like you say, you're on the journey. So even, I don't know. I just think, when I think about my 5-year plan, I think, do you know what? What's meant for you doesn't pass you by. So just enjoy what you're doing.
I think it's just kind of helping and collaborative,
and spending time with people who I love, and my friends and my family. And I've never felt more content in the people I've got around me. So I'm really lucky. I'm really grateful for that as well.
Because I think it's 2 things that you can't buy, and it's time and your health.
100%.
And when you just kind of really focus on both of them, everything else just comes.
Absolutely,
I always say with it all. So tell us, Amy, where can people find you if they want to come and follow your journey?
Come and follow me on Instagram. I am at Amy Burke Official.
Yeah.
and you can see my whole story. You can get the guides. If anyone is going through breast cancer, please do reach out to me. And even if someone's wearing the cold cap or you've got a family member, reach out to me and I'd be more than happy to gift you a cold cap comforter as well to make that
that's so kind.
easier
Thank
for
you.
them. And also there's lashes for chemo patients available as well, because
Amazing.
we all need lashes, don't we, girls?
Absolutely.
We don't want
Yeah.
bald. Even if you are going through chemo.
I'm using Lilash at the moment, but there's so many things that people can't use when they're going
You've got to be
through
really
it.
careful.
Yeah.
So I had to use, I had, you know, the DIY lashes.
Yeah.
They're a range anyway that I supply. But then I thought, you know what, how can I make these suitable for chemo patients? So I've developed them as well. So they don't tend to irritate your eyelids and things like that. And you can still look gorgeous while you're getting your chemo.
That's it, because you still want to pamper yourself. You still want to feel
Do
yourself.
you know what? It rips
it's
your identity from you.
Yeah.
It really does. It makes you look so different. It makes you feel so different. So if you can still put your makeup on or your eyelashes and just make yourself look half normal or feel better, that's half the battle, I think. And then helps you get through it easier.
You're amazing, honestly.
Thank you so much for coming.
Literally,
Girls,
I'm
thank
just-
you for having me. I've had
thank
the
you for
best
coming on.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you soon.